It was supposed to be a pleasant afternoon of going to church, but Troy police say the trip turned violent.
And by the time it was over, a couple's son would be under arrest.
7 Action News reporter Kimberly Craig in Troy with more on the case and where the responding officer ended up needing backup.
This is one of those cases that could easily turn dangerous for police officers. The suspect in this case is now charged with misdemeanor domestic assault and assault of a police officer. And police say this also involves issues of mental health.
We do have to be prepared for anything.
Here on I-75 in Troy is where police say the 28-year-old man was arguing with his father. They were on the way to Mass Saturday afternoon, and when the dad was exiting at Big Beaver is when investigators say the son, who was sitting in the back seat, became violent with his father, who was behind the wheel.
He grabbed the seatbelt and held against his father's chest, brought it up around his neck.
Police say the victim's 28-year-old son got out and took off running. His parents went to police, and it didn't take long for an officer to spot the man at this gas station at Big Beaver and Crooks. We're told the officer tried talking to the suspect, but he became upset and began to tussle with the officer. And at one point, he put the officer in a headlock and knocked him to the ground. Thankfully, the officer was able to break free, and Troy police say he was able to deploy his taser, striking the suspect in the chest.
The officer did taser him, and the suspect pulled the prongs off and was getting back up when another officer arrived, and they were able to get him in handcuffs. It sounds like, after the fact that we know that there are some mental health issues, but, officers never know what they're going into. So anyone we're dealing with, we try and de-escalate, and that's exactly what this officer did. The suspect took it from there and got violent and aggressive with the officer.
The suspect's father says his son is very sorry for everything that has happened. He has now been released on a personal bond. In Troy, Kimberly Craig, 7 Action News.